Yummy, so good.
Hello. All right. Here is my kombucha that I made the other day. It has apple. What is it? I forget. There we go. Yeah. It has apple juice in it and elderberry, and this is the one I tried with the stevia. So I want to give it a taste, and it's already starting to grow a new SCOBY. I don't know if you can see that right there, the little white line. But I wanted to give it a taste. Now, I don't expect this to be real bubbly because these jars are not real airtight. I'd have to seal them with some sort of a suction thing. But I just want to taste it to see how the flavor is. So it has a lot of stevia leaves in there and little elderberries. So I'm going to need a sieve. So I want to give this a taste. Hopefully I don't spill this all. So like I said, I wasn't expecting this to have a lot of fizz because it's not real airtight. So let's see. Has a nice color. Smells good. Oh my gosh, is that tasty. It's really good. Very sweet. I did add a teaspoon of sugar to this as well, but this is very, very tasty. And I actually prefer my kombucha not too carbonated. I like it rather smooth. So this is a winner. I'm going to have to try the other one that I made without the stevia and see if the sweetness is the same. So I'll be back in a little bit and try that out. All right, so this is the apple juice, elderberry, and no stevia, just a little bit of sugar. So we'll give this one a try, see if the stevia made any difference. And this one does not have much of a SCOBY, just a little bit. The other one has more of a SCOBY. All right, so let's give this one a try. The one with the stevia is sweeter. So I guess that worked. So if you grow stevia in your garden, try putting it in your kombucha. The flavor isn't real differentiated between the two, but this one is definitely sweeter. This one is good too. I like the one with the stevia better. So give it a try. You can put all kinds of things in your kombucha when you brew it and customize your own flavors. All right, I'm going to make another what's cooking meal. So what I have on hand, I have some of this salsa and it needs to be used up. I had bought it for something and it's just been sitting in my fridge. I had some little French bread that I had cut up that was getting really dry. So I cut that into cubes and there were just like maybe 8 little tiny slices, so I cubed those all up. I have some green onion that I always have growing on by my kitchen window, and I have 3 eggs, and I have a little tiny bit of soy milk left, and I've been using this soy milk and frothing it and putting it in my lattes. really, really good. So I have those things, and I'm going to make sort of a strata out of it. This is things that otherwise would go in the garbage. And I think I'm going to add a little bit of pizza seasoning, even though this is salsa, but you know, there's no rule that says you can't mix Italian with Mexican. And I also want to add a little tiny bit of cumin to this too, because I like the taste of cumin. So I'm going to mix up my eggs and scramble those first. I'm going to add a little bit of the milk, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I put some of the milk in with the eggs, and I'm going to also add a little bit of cumin. Now this is like a casserole for one. It's not going to make a whole lot. I don't want to put too much cumin, maybe, an eighth to a quarter teaspoon, whatever your taste buds like. And the same amount of the Italian seasoning. Now this has salt in it, so I don't need more salt, I don't think. And I'm just going to whisk this up really well. Then I also found in my refrigerator, it's been in there a while, I forgot about it, some Follow Your Heart dairy-free cheddar. I'm going to put that in there too. So let me whisk this up and I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, I'm also going to add a little bit of basil. Now I whisked these eggs up really well. And then here I have just a serving for one, and I oiled this, and I'm just going to take the oil and rub it in all over so the eggs don't stick, make it easier to clean up. And then I'm going to put all my bread in here, and this is just enough bread for one serving, maybe two. I'll probably get two out of this. But if you have a heartier appetite than I do, you'll probably get one. Okay, so there we have that. And I think I need a bigger bowl because I want to mix the cheese and the salsa in with the eggs before I pour it all over the bread. Alright, so I'm going to put some of the salsa in. Not too much, maybe, 3 or 4 tablespoons. I don't want the eggs too spicy, so that should be good. And I'm going to add a good handful of the cheese, because cheese and eggs is delicious. And this is just a recipe out of what I already had. There's no real rhyme or reason to it, just things I wanted to use up. So there's some websites too. I don't really use them because I kind of make up my own thing. But I know there are some websites out there that you can go to and plug in your ingredients, and they'll come up with a recipe for you. So if you don't want to be real creative with your own recipes, you can always go on there and check that out and come up with something to use up ingredients you have. But I do like salsa on my eggs, so I thought, well, what the heck, I will just put it in a little strata. So that's what it looks like. And I'm just going to pour this all over the dry bread now. And then I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and let the egg soak up, the bread soak up the egg mixture. And then I'm going to bake it at 350, probably, I don't know, 20 minutes to a half an hour. I don't know. I would have to see. And the way you know if it's done, you can insert a little probe and see if it comes out clean. And if it does, and it's no longer real mushy on the top, then it's done. So pretty easy, and you can eat this for breakfast, you can eat it for lunch or dinner. You know, there's no rules. So another thing that you can use up leftover salsa for before it goes bad, you can put it into like a Mexican soup or add it to your rice before you cook it to season your rice. All kinds of things. Okay, so I'm going to make sure this is well incorporated. And then I'm going to sprinkle the top of this with some green onions, because that's always tasty. So there you go. Looks good. And then I'll put this in the fridge and have it later on. So I'll be back when this is all baked. Like I said, I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 and let it bake 25 to 30 minutes maybe. And I think what I'm going to do is probably cover it with some foil. And then maybe the last few minutes, the last 5 minutes, I'll take the foil off and it'll be tasty. All right, I'll be back later. Okay, dinner is done and it looks good. I hope it tastes good. Let me show you. So there it is. And I'm going to have it with a salad and some carrots and ranch dressing. So let me see if I can get this out of the pan. Alright, I hope it doesn't stick too much. It is eggs after all. So I think it's going to be good, I hope. So there we go. And I will have enough for tomorrow too. So let me give it a taste, but I need to get a fork. All right, let's give this bad boy a try. It's tasty. So if you have some dry bread laying around and some other ingredients, eggs are so forgiving. You can do almost anything with eggs. So give it a try. It's really tasty. Well, that's really good. I'm going to try and eat my dinner now. And I'll be back in just a few minutes and I'll tell you about the thing.
So that was my cooking adventure for today. I still have some salsa I want to use up, and I have some corn tortillas. I don't really want to make tacos. I want to see what else I can fabricate and come up with. So anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit before I go about the thing I had, you know. I don't even know if I can say that word, so I won't, but I'm sure you can guess what the thing is. So anyway, a person I was in close proximity to tested positive for the thing. So I thought, well, I had some very mild cold symptoms. I felt like, you know, the first day when you feel like you're going to get a cold and your nose is a little bit prickly, It's the only way I can describe it. Well, that's what I had. So, and I had been with this person um, within that week, and that person had cold symptoms. Not bad, just, runny nose and not even really a cough or anything like that. Um, some chills, which I did not have at all. And so I thought, well, I was going to see what happened. So I got myself a couple packages as soon as I heard that that person was not feeling well. I got myself a couple of things of the Airborne, and I just get the drugstore brand. So that's around $4. If you get the regular brand, it can be pretty expensive. So the first day that I felt like I was getting this cold, I didn't have chills, I didn't have anything else. I just had this thing going on with my nose. So I started taking the Airborne, and I took it 3 times a day for about 4 days. And then I went to, maybe it was longer than that, like 5 days. Um, I took it morning, afternoon, and evening. And the symptoms that I had never got any worse than that. I never got a runny nose. I never got a cough. I never got chills. I did have a couple days where my stomach wasn't feeling quite right. I didn't throw up or anything like that, but it was just a little not feeling right. And, I had a couple of trips to the potty, but that was it. So, but I really think, I mean, for me anyway, I really think that Airborne helped because it has a lot of zinc and other vitamins and things in it. And I always take that when I feel like I'm getting a cold. The minute my nose starts to feel funny, I start taking the Airborne. And I'll do that for a few days. And if I'm going to get a cold, it definitely shortens the cold and it makes it not so severe. But this didn't even get to that point. And another thing I did, one of the YouTube doctors, I forget his name. If I think about it, I'll put it up in the cards, not in the cards, you know, comments. Um, he recommended that you take a high dose of vitamin D. Now, the vitamin D that he recommended was 30,000 IUs. I don't recommend anybody does any of this that I'm talking about. I'm not recommending anything. I'm just saying what worked for me. Check with your healthcare provider and see what they say as to the best thing that you can do for your cold or the thing. Um, and everybody is different. I've known quite a few people now that have had it, and I only know one person that was really sick with it, but this fella unfortunately has a lot of comorbidities, diabetic, heart condition. He's had cancer treatments, all sorts of medical issues, the list as long as your arm. Now, it really did wipe him out. But everybody else that I've known has had mild to moderate symptoms or not at all. So I just wanted to share my experience with you and what I did. And now my symptoms were not anywhere near as prevalent as the person that I was with that had it. But that was mild too. But mine was even more mild. If this wasn't going around, I wouldn't even give it a second thought, as to because that's how mild the symptoms that I had were. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have had any experience with this, And I'm not making light of it at all. I just wanted to share what I did and what I experienced, and maybe allay some fears that you may have about this whole thing that's going on. So anyway, I don't have anything else that I want to talk about today. I hope you guys are well. If you care to share your experience with the thing, leave us a comment below and what you have done with the vitamin D that I took. I took the 30,000 IUs, but only for 3 days because too much, I think it can affect your kidneys. So, but like I said, don't go by what I'm telling you. This is what I did. This was my personal experience, and I'm not recommending anything. So that's a little disclaimer there. Check with your healthcare provider before you do anything. And if you're having severe symptoms, take yourself to the emergency room because we certainly don't want to lose anybody. So, all right then, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings, tons and tons of abundant blessings. And be good to yourself, be good to others. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.